Welcome to the first part of the tutorial on the sales section of the partner application. In this part, we will go through the salesperson and the code section of this feature. The first part of this feature is the salesperson profile. To access it, you have to choose the sales option from the operator sidebar and then choose the salesperson. On this page, you can see the logged in salesperson profile. On top of the page, you see the salesperson code and the date that they've joined. In the middle of the page, you can see the number of submitted online quotes, submitted online sales orders, and submitted online invoices by the salesperson. Operators can view and manage the codes in the system. As an operator, you can view all the codes in the system by choosing the codes option from the sales section on the operator sidebar. On this page, you can view all the active codes in the application. There are two tabs available on this page: orders and items. The first one shows you a list of the codes and the second one shows the items that are currently in the codes. On the first tab, you can search through the codes based on the customers on the list, and on the second one, you can search through the codes based on the items that are in the codes. You can filter the codes and search over them by using the search section on top of the screen. You can filter them based on customers, keywords, and their dates. Let's search for a couple of customers called Sales Smart and WorkSafe BC. And as you see, when you press the search button, the list only includes the codes made for these customers. You can also filter the codes based on keywords. For example, you can search for a specific order number. And when you hit the search button, the only code left on the list is the one with that order number. If you would like, you can get the list of the codes by clicking on the export button on the top of the table, and the codes will be downloaded to your system as a CSV file. Let's look at the list. On the codes list, you can see the customer's name, the order date, the customer's PO number, the salesperson of the code, the total of the order, and the status of the code. There is a button at the first column of the table that takes you to the codes page and allows you to manage the code. Let's click on it. This is the page. Now let us create a new code. For this section, click on the Add New Code button. And in the open dialog, you need to select the user from the list of options, or you can search for a specific user. We can search for Alex Smith and then click on the select button, and after election the code will be created for that specific user. On this page, you can manage the created code, manage products in the code, update transactions, and convert it to a sales order. On the top of the page, there are three columns. The first one shows the order information and lets you edit the PO number of the order and change the order swap. The second column shows the customer's information such as their credit limit, their price level, and etc. And the third column shows the bill for the code. On the lower half of the page, there are a few tabs that let you view and manage the products in the code: the shipping addresses, the billing addresses, the transactions, and the notes for the code. On the first tab, you can search for products and add them to the code. For example, let's search for a product called TV001 and add it to the code. If you want to add other products to the list, you can just follow the same steps and products will be added. As you see, the order quantity for the added part is 1, and you can view the available quantity of the product in the system. For non-physical products, the available quantity is infinite. To change the order quantity, you can just click on the edit button and enter the new order quantity, then click on the save button and the order quantity will be updated. Total price for that part and the balance of the order will be updated. If you would like to add a discount to a part, just click on the edit button next to the discount percentage, enter the discount percentage in the field and press the save button. For example, we can enter 10, and as you see, the discount is applied to the bill. Finally, for removing the product, you can click on the remove button next to the record and the part will be removed from the list. The layout and the functionality of the shipping and the billing tabs are quite the same. The default registered address for the customer is already pre-filled in the address form. If you need another address for this code, you can either click on the select from user addresses to choose an address from the registered addresses for the user, or you can fill in another address in the form. When you click on the mention button, a dialog opens up that lets you choose another address from the available addresses for the user. For example, this user only has one address, which is the default address. If you decide to go with an unregistered address, you need to fill in the form and either select the Save Changes button to use this address only for this code, or choose the Save It for Later option to use it for this code and also to register this address on the user's profile as well. For example, we can make a small change to the current address, and as you see, you have two options to choose from. You can choose the Save Changes for now. On the Transaction tab, you can see all the available transactions for this code and their information, such as their code, transaction number, date, and etc. On the Notes tab, you can view the available notes for the code, edit and delete them, and create new ones. To create a new code, click on the Add a New Code button. In the Open dialog, fill in the title, choose the category from the drop-down box, choose where you want the node to be shown on, and type in the node itself. You can choose to show it on the invoice, and the node can be something like this. You can also click on the auto define checkbox to let the system decide where the node should be shown. Let's press the create button, and as you see, you have your first node here. You can edit the nodes by clicking on the edit button. As you see, the open dialog is the same as the dialog that opens up when creating a new node. You can also remove a node by clicking on the remove button next to it. Now let's go through the buttons available on the top right of the page. The first button converts the code to the customer's shopping cart and will direct you to the shopping cart. On this page, you can add to the items in the cart by searching them using the search field on top of the page. You can remove the current item by clicking on the remove button, change the quantity of the item by clicking on the plus and the minus button, and at the end you can either click on the open code button and go back to the code page, or click on the close cart on the top right of the page to revert the cart to a code again, and the code will be accessible from the codes list page. As you see, now instead of the first button there is a text that says currently set as shopping cart. The second button lets you send the order information in an email. By clicking on it, a dialog will open that lets you write down the email that you want the order to be sent to. Also, it has a checkbox that by choosing it, a copy of the order will be sent to you as BCC. You can finish the process by clicking on the send button, or if you have changed your mind, you can close the dialog. The last button is for removing the whole order from the system. As mentioned, you can view the code summary on the top right section of the page. Based on the customer's available credit and the payment terms, the customer may need to pay the code or just convert the code to the sales order. For example, in this case, since the credit limit of the customer is 0, they need to pay for this order first. To add a payment to the code, just click on the Pay Code button. Then in the Open dialog, you can select different methods of payment. For adding online payment using the user's credit card, click on the Proceed button under this option. Now you can either add a new credit card for the user by filling the form and using the newly added card for payment, or select a credit card from the list by clicking on the Select button. Then you need to enter the amount of payment on the selected credit card and click on the Proceed button. If you would like to pay the whole amount, you can click on the Copy button here, and the amount will be copied in the field automatically. Then you need to press the Proceed button, and on this step you can decide whether you like to send a confirmation email to the customer and to yourself or not. As you see, the online payment is applied to the bill. There is a button available next to the online payment amount that lets you refund the amount to the card. And when you choose Proceed, you can see the balance is back to the original amount. To add payment with another method, click on Pay this order again, and in the Open dialog, click on the Proceed button under the Other payment option. Now you need to select the method of the payment by clicking on the method drop-down, selecting one of the options. For example, we can select check and cash payment, and then we can copy the amount to the field. We can select a date for it. Also, we can choose to have a manual reference number for our payment. Then we choose the Proceed, and the payment is done. To add coupons or gift cards, click on the add gift card or coupon button. If the customer has a gift card, it will be shown here, which you can add by clicking on the select button on the card or the coupon, and it will be added to the order summary. You can remove it by clicking on the remove button. Let's refund this amount to try the coupon method. We can try selecting the new customer coupon. Just have in mind that as only one gift card or coupon can be added to an order, you don't see add gift card button until you remove the currently added one. So we need to remove the gift card to be able to use another one. Also keep in mind that the coupons will be added as products to a code. So to remove them, go to the parts section of the code and click on the remove button. Just like removing a part, and the gift card will be removed. After all these changes, managing code parts and adding payments, you want to convert the code to a sales order. If payments are still needed for the code, you can add payments, a gift card or coupon, and credit for paying the balance or bypass the payment for it, which means that you can skip the payment and just convert the code to a sales order for the customer. Just click on the bypass this code at the bottom of the summary section. You need to select the reason for the bypass process by clicking on the reason drop box and selecting the reason from the option. You can edit the reasons of bypass or add new ones by clicking on the edit reasons button and entering the new reason and clicking on the create button. For updating reasons, click on the edit button, then change the reason and click on the save button, or remove a reason by clicking on the remove button and the reason will be removed. After updating the reasons, click on the back button on the dialog, select your reason, then click on submit. Based on the user bypass rules, either a bypass will be submitted for the code and you can view its details on the top of the order summary, or a dialog will be shown indicating that the bypass exceeds the limits for the user. If you want to update the bypass rules for the user, you can enter the new period and the limit in the dialog and then submit the bypass for the user. Now to convert the code to a sales order, just click on the generate sales order button and the code will be converted to a sales order. And that is how you can create and manage a code in the application.